Weather or not meteorologist Chris Johnson here with your latest forecast brought to you by On Target. We are tracking out the remnants of Francine as this hurricane will make landfall later on today before jogging northward. As it does so, tropical rains becoming a possibility, a good possibility as we look ahead towards late week into the first part of this weekend. So a lot to talk about and track out with your latest forecast. First, let's start with satellite imagery. We have a clear start once again to our morning. It's going to be a little cooler out there, but temperatures milder compared to where we've been over the last 2 to 3 mornings, but still some upper 40s to 50s showing up in many spots. You can already see when you look at the imagery here some of the high wispy clouds streaming in already, and we're going to see that continue through this afternoon getting into this evening. You'll look up in the skies, you'll see some of those mid and high level clouds starting to stream in. That is associated with Francine as the storm starts to make its move, eventually making landfall before heading our way a little bit later on Thursday and into our Friday. As far as temperatures are concerned, again, 50s here in Warren County, 51 degrees, 50 at the other side. We jog up to the north and west over in Butler County, 49 degrees, 56 in Simpson County. And look at the warmer spot this morning over in Allen County at 60 degrees. Regardless, it is another pleasant start to our morning, and some of the cooler spots certainly may need a light jacket early on. Otherwise, forget about it this afternoon, as we're going to see temperatures surge into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. Here's a look at our Beechtree News Sky Cam. This is facing west from Morgantown. It is a nice and calm start to our morning once again, but of course some changes heading our way as we work into the next couple of days. As far as radar is concerned, we scan those skies here across the Wobbles region. Nothing showing up yet, but some changes heading our way again as we look ahead towards your Thursday, getting into Friday. And those changes start today. We'll see clouds increasing later this afternoon through this evening. Tonight, eventually going mostly cloudy. It's not as cool out there. We'll see temperatures 50s to some low and mid 60s in some of our warmer spots before rain chances start to increase Thursday afternoon, getting into Thursday evening, and by Friday it's all about some tropical rains that show up at times, bringing heavy rainfall, and the chance is going to be there for some thunderstorms as well, especially if we can muster up just a little bit of storm fuel, and that looks like a possibility which could give way to a very low-end threat for a stronger storm or two, and that's something we have to watch closely as we look ahead towards our Friday. Now, as far as the setup is concerned, let's take a look at the bigger picture here. This is this morning, high pressure spinning just to our east, and we have eventually Francine making landfall. And as that happens, high winds, severe weather, we're talking storm surge, big-time impacts across the Gulf states. We put this into motion for your Thursday. Here comes the remnants of Francine after making landfall, and it's going to jog northward right along the Mississippi River, and that's eventually going to bring us some rain chances Thursday afternoon, evening, but it does look like as we work into our Friday, perhaps our best chance for those scattered downpours and some storms, some which could be on the stronger side. Let's take a look at Francine right now. We're starting to pick this up on radar in the Gulf, making its move now a Category 1 hurricane. So the storm is starting to strengthen and expected to continue as we work through the rest of today, eventually becoming a Category 2 hurricane. Winds right now sustained, 90 miles per hour, gust at 115. But notice what happens as Francine makes its move closer to the coastal areas, strengthening to a Category 2 hurricane with wind speeds of 100 miles per hour, gust up to 120 miles per hour. And there was a significant trend yesterday that took over. The storm more eastward with its track and landfall, now taking a closer aim at New Orleans. So folks there in Louisiana, the coastal areas under the gun right now, we have multiple warnings out, including hurricane warnings, storm surge warnings, tropical storm warnings for many areas, and that stretches eastward over into the southern point of Alabama as well. So a lot of folks under the gun here with this storm. Let's check out the latest track, though, as far as Francine is concerned and the impacts for us and what that means, because, again, this is going to bring us some tropical rains a little bit later on this week. We zoom things out. You can see the latest track here It's going to make landfall likely as a Category 2 hurricane before weakening as it moves inland. And as it does so, it's going to jog northward right along the Mississippi River, I should say. And as it does so, it's going to bring in a lot of moisture with it, tropical moisture that will surge in, working northward right here into the Wobbles region. As that happens, that's going to bring us some of our best chances for tropical rains and some storms. And overall, the setup drives this tropical system right into the Missouri Boot Hill. So here's the setup. When you look in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we have a trough to our north and west. We have a strong ridge in the upper levels across the Great Lakes region. And that's playing a big time factor into this system where it's heading and where the rainfall amounts are more than likely going to set up with some of the heaviest rain showing up across south central Kentucky and western portions of the Commonwealth, which is great news because those are drought-stricken areas and we need the rainfall. But also, there is some dry air that this ridge of high pressure in the upper levels will drive in from the north and east. And that's going to cut back on rain chances across far east Kentucky, even the Bluegrass region, and it puts the focal point across south central and west Kentucky for some of the best rain chances and rain totals as far as this setup and this remnant of Francine is concerned. Then it starts to meander east and southeastward. Again, all because of what we're seeing in the upper levels and how it's being driven and steered across the Tennessee Valley region. As it hangs around, though, it's going to keep rain chances around for us, not only Friday, likely our best day for some rain, but also lingers into the weekend. Now, we're not talking complete washout conditions Saturday or Sunday, but some chances for some showers will certainly be sticking around across the area, but we're not talking washout rains all day, each day throughout the entire weekend. Let's look at the latest high-res data as we start to time out the arrival of Francine remnants. And we're going to see some activity starting to pick up as we work into Thursday afternoon. We put this into motion as we work through your Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon. No rain expected, none expected through tonight. But we will see clouds starting to increase. Again, it'll start with the high wispy clouds, and then the mid-level clouds will move in, and then eventually we're going mostly cloudy overnight tonight into our Thursday. We can expect more cloud cover than anything for your Thursday, especially Thursday afternoon and evening. And then look at this. As we get into Thursday morning, this is 9 o'clock, we're already starting to see the remnants of Francine moving northward, bringing some rain as we get into Tennessee. As we continue, this is around lunchtime, Thursday, starting to edge closer to the Wobbles region. Really, you have to get into the afternoon hours before we start talking some chances for scattered downpours, even a few storms. That's a possibility. But this is around 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon. And a bulk of the heavy rain showing up across western Tennessee, the Missouri Boot Hill there, some western Kentucky, but also notice some of the outer bands that are going to swing in from the south and east working towards the north and west. And that's eventually going to bring us some rain here across the Wobbles region, heavy at times as we work into your Thursday evening, Thursday night. And we have to keep an eye on some of these bands. Look at this one that this particular run is trying to show. And that's when we can get into potentially some rotating cells. Now, the deal with this setup is, as far as our rotating storm potential is concerned, it's a low-end threat, but it's still there. It's always there when you track in a tropical system like this, in most cases across the Ohio Valley. Just all that spin in the atmosphere, it's easy to get some rotating showers and storms. However, the big question remains how much storm fuel we have to work with. And it looks fairly minimal. And overall, when you look at the SCUT, the upper levels, there's just not a ton of support that shows an overall severe threat, at least a decent one at that. But it's not non-zero either. So something we have to keep an eye on and pay close attention to, especially as we work through Thursday evening, specifically more so into our Friday. That's what we have to keep an eye on for the potential for a few stronger storms that could try to show up. Now, as far as rain amounts are concerned, And again, there's still some uncertainty there in some areas as far as rainfall amounts are concerned. Not a lot has changed, though, across the Wobbles region. Again, South Central, West Kentucky has the best chances to pick up on the higher rainfall totals from this setup and this system. In general, we're talking a 1 to 3 inch range here for the entire region for the Wobbles area. And that extends westward all the way into far west Kentucky and northward up to about E-Town or so. Great news. These areas, we are struggling for some rainfall. At times, some areas couldn't buy a raindrop if they had a chance to. Maybe that changes, though, with this system. And that's great news. Again, we need the rainfall. So a lot to keep an eye on, a lot to track out as we work through Friday. And then we're going to hold on to chances Saturday, Sunday. But really, we need to be on guard for the next couple of days for that potential for a stronger storm that could show up. Otherwise, it's going to be some showery chances that linger as we work through the weekend as this system starts to meander east-southeastward across Tennessee and eventually weakening as it does so Saturday and into our Sunday. But that energy will still be there in the atmosphere that could spark off some additional showers and some storms. All right, here's a look at that 5-day forecast brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. Today, it is warm out there. We're going to push 90 degrees for a high, and we're going to see some more sunshine. Not too bad, but changes are heading our way later this afternoon as clouds increase, becoming mostly cloudy tonight. We get into your Thursday, best rain chance will start to ramp up through the afternoon and evening hours. Temperatures taking a hit because of the clouds. We're talking low 80s, overnight lows Thursday night, low 60s as showers become likely. Some tropical downpours, heavy rain at times, and we're going to hold on to those chances Friday. Possibly a strong storm or two that tries to show up Friday afternoon into Friday evening. We'll watch that closely. And then it's all about some lingering rain chances as we work through Saturday and Sunday. And notice temperatures running below normal because of the rain, the cloud cover. We're talking highs upper 70s to around 80 degrees in many spots. Then, as we get into early next week, we start to trend drier somewhat. But we're holding on to the chance for some more showers, some more rain that tries to show up in another potential system next week. So a lot to keep an eye on and track out as far as remnants are concerned of Francine and what's ahead potentially next week. All right, folks, that'll do it for this morning's forecast brought to you by On Target. I hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday afternoon. We'll be keeping a close eye on things, updating our social platforms, and keeping you up to date on the latest with Francine and what's ahead for us here across the Wobbles region. Take care. Make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you back here